What is up, everyone? I am Joe DeHoyos. I'm host of Beyond the Woodline. Real quick, before we get started, for those of you who don't know, I am the executive director for the JRG, which stands for the Jevning Research Group. It's headed up and founded by Mr. William Jevning. Man, he's got like 50 years of experience within the Bigfoot field. Um, he was friends with Renee DeHenden and John Green. They're two of the four guys who were considered the pioneers of the Bigfoot research. Uh, if you're interested in joining this team, you can go to our Facebook page, which is called the JRG Research Group, um, and you can join the group there, and you can ask to join in this search for this unknown creature. We have teams in New York State, Florida, Tennessee, Ohio, Oklahoma, Texas, of course, where I'm at, New Mexico, California, Oregon, Louisiana, and a couple other states. I always forget. Um, if you want to join up with one of those guys, shoot me an email, let me know. We'll set you up with them. If you want to start your own team, that's fine with us too. We can also help you find another team in your area. We network with a bunch of people all over the country. We're pretty branched out. So if you want to join that search, man, let me know. Just shoot me an email, beyond.woodline@gmail.com. We will vet you. We vet anyone we set you up with because unfortunately there are some crazy people in the world and we got to take care of each other. And we ask that you do the same too. We always say you got to research the researcher. So yeah, do your homework too. But yeah, for the most part, we try to take care of everybody. And yeah, you have any questions, like I said, just shoot me an email, beyond.woodline@gmail.com, and we'll get you started. And as always, I know you guys don't tune in to hear me talk all night long. Tonight, I have with me Mr. Cody Stark of Stark Paranormal. How are you doing, Cody?
What's up, man? Doing well. Doing well. Thank you for having me on this evening.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I'm just sharing out the show, trying to get us some more views. And I got two Facebook pages. So,
Hopefully, I pushed it out for you. So hopefully, I brought some people over to watch.
okay, cool, man. Yeah, we would appreciate that. Yeah, let me put the chat on. Yep, there's somebody here already. Boss man. Who's that? J851.
She's my moderator.
Okay. Okay, cool, man. Thanks a lot, you guys, for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Um, yeah, help spread the word. Share it out on all your social media platforms. So yeah, if you don't mind, real quick, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you started in this crazy field?
Yes, sir. Everyone, I'm Cody Stark. Been doing this for probably about 5 years. Only been doing it live for I think it'll be 2 years this August. Started out with a team, then eventually went out on my own. But I've always been into paranormal. When I was about 11 years old, I had a experience at a house that I go live at a lot. I seen a little boy in the upstairs window and had no idea what it was. All I know is that I was going to walk faster that morning to go hunting. So it scared me. Then actually seen it again about a year later. Same boy, same room. Uh, and I kind of stood there for a minute and just kind of watched it leave or just poof, gone. And that kind of got me into watching all the shows. Before that, didn't have no interest or didn't really know anything about it. I knew what I seen and wanted to know more about it. So yeah, I just do TikTok lives all the time, and here on the tube, I go live here as well, and I just enjoy
Hmm.
uh, talking to things I can't hear or see,
Yeah.
like the spooky
So,
vibes.
yes. So let me ask you real quick. That's really interesting. On you seeing that little boy. I mean, so you said at first you didn't realize, I guess, really what it was. When did that start to click for you? That holy shit, this could be what this is. You know?
Well, the second time's when it really clicked. The first time, I know what I seen, but I didn't know. All at the same token, I just knew that I knew no one was supposed to be in there, and it had been abandoned since 1985, and so
Right.
this was like way early 2000s when I seen it, and I just knew that I was going to walk faster. And I did the whole rest of that hunting season. I was booking it past that house. I didn't even look at the house. Then the next year, I ended up seeing it again. So, um, but What's funny is about this story, just in the past week, I've had 20-year-old questions answered.
Wow.
So I do a lot of lives in this house, and I will say this, I'm very irritated because I cannot pull my footage from TikTok at all. I've done everything possible I can do, but I got confirmation, and that was with a medium. That was with I use like a thing called tripwire. Use EMF lights strung across the ground, and the spirit can manipulate them. And then a historian. I was able to collaborate between 3 different sources what was happening in this live. And he stated his name's Billy, and that he's been watching me and trying to get a hold of me for 20 some years, and that he was in fact the kid I seen. So the psychic says that was his name, and he was the kid. I asked, "Can you touch those lights if you were the kid? If I was what you seen?" He touched the lights. I mean, snap a finger. He touched them, and then we was able to elaborate a lot of history through the historian. But that just went down a whole nother rabbit hole because now we got a whole nother family involved, and yeah. But
Wow.
anyway, that I even said it on camera. It almost brought a tear down my cheek because I've been searching for that answer for so long and been there so many times without the answer that I finally got it, and now I can't put it out there
Yeah.
because my footage is all gone.
Wow.
And that's not the first time my footage is gone from this place when I get evidence.
Yeah. Hmm. And so you still go back to this place on a regular basis, then I would
Mhm.
guess, right?
Uh, Last year, I caught I caught a shadow on camera, and it had a music. So I had a music box set up, in which the music box is motion activated. So it's faced in this doorway, and the music box goes off again. So then I look up, I can see black shadow. I mean, you can see the head, shoulders, torso standing there. The music box is playing, so it's getting um, the laser's getting broke for motion. There's something standing in front of this. You could see it on the screen of my live. You could see it all there. My live was
Wow.
completely lagged out. And for that 15 minutes of all that going on, that is the only part of the video I don't have.
Wow. Okay.
So starting to realize they want me to know the truth, but don't want me to share it out.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
way
And
it feels like
I've
in a
heard of
way.
stuff like that happening before too. Yeah.
So it really bugs me that I keep starting to get all these answers and then bam, gone.
So is Billy the only one there?
No, I believe there's about 7 or 8 different spirits. Um, so Billy, in fact, I always called William. I always got Billy coming through, but I always just referred to him as William. And he actually, as far as documentation I got about past owners, he passed away at the age of 15. And we got confirmation
Okay.
how he passed. We got confirmation about his family, which has nothing to do with the actual original family that I've always thought in all the documentation I have. So that's where it's like there's a big loophole right now because there's 2 different families going on. So I don't know if it was 2 different families lived on this property at one time, or there was an original to the original family that lived on this property. So I got to figure all that out now. But no, there's the original house was built in the 1850s, and thought. I think there was a house before that, but they moved from Germany, and I've gotten answers. I've gotten the names of a lot of the family members. The last person to live in it was 1985, and she actually passed away. Excuse me, 1988. She went to a nursing home for 3 years,
Okay. Hmm.
but that's the place where if I go live there, everyone knows it and everyone comes in because they love that place. But as far as my service goes, I always have issues there for I,
So
I'm
what's
so stuttering to call it paranormal,
right?
but
So what's the overall feeling of that house? I mean, is it a good feeling? Is it a bad feeling?
yeah,
Is it
I don't feel anything bad.
okay?
Now, I've gotten a lot of answers to come through that makes me think something bad happened there, and I'm not talking about. So Billy passed away from a horse accident. We don't know if he got bucked off a horse or trampled. We don't know, but we did have all that factual. But I think something else happened there, and they like to elaborate on it sometimes, but they just always seems like they throw me these little bitty pieces, but I
Yeah.
can't put the puzzle together for whatever reason. Um, but no, it's a good feeling. And to be honest with you, that night I was live for the first hour and a half. I felt like I was standing in my living room. It was that calm of nothing happened.
Yeah.
But I've always stated there, I do believe there is, there is a sense of smartness going on there. They understand what I'm doing there, but I personally think it's mostly residual than anything. At
Okay.
least that's from a lot of the interactions I get. Now
Yeah.
there's intelligence, don't get me wrong, but mostly residual.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that probably happens a lot more than what people think. And
Agree,
yeah,
100%.
yeah. I think there's a lot of residual stuff that happens. And I've been to places where I've captured evidence, and then other teams have came in and captured the exact same evidence, and I'm just like, there has to be, residual has to be. I don't think,
Mhm.
for example, I was at a location here in Texas, and um, we caught a dog barking. A couple teams after us caught a dog barking too. And this is an old house, abandoned house. Nobody lives there, uh, and there's no dogs in that area. So it was just funny how we all caught the same little. It sounded like a little dog, like a small dog.
Right. Happens all over the world. I
Yeah.
mean, I see it all the time. You know, people having the exact same stories going to the same location.
So let me ask you this too. Now that I brought the dog up, what do you think about spirit animals as far as their spirit staying behind? Do you think that's a possibility?
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
That's about all I got from it.
Really? Yeah.
I haven't like really theorized it, I guess,
Yeah.
enough or try to investigate it and research it enough. But I mean, it's possible. I
Right.
mean, if it can happen to a human, why couldn't it happen to an animal?
Mhm.
At
Yeah,
least
that's something
my
that
experience.
I don't hear. I don't want to say I don't hear it a lot. I think I hear it enough for me to wonder about that, and I wonder if animals kind of.
You mostly hear about cats.
Yeah, and I was gonna
It
say
seems like every freaking haunted place has a cat in it
yeah, and
of some
I've
sort.
I've heard people talk about they can go to a location and they feel like a cat rubbing up on their leg, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, so I wonder what's the deal with that? Yeah.
Well, see, that's a part of my theory of of that residual, whether they're human or animal. If it is an actual captured piece of energy that's happened, that cat rubbed on the same dude's leg or multiple people's leg every day of its life for,
Mhm.
we'll call it 15 years. I mean, that could leave an imprint on that place of that energy happening every single time. So that's why I think that is the possibility of it. Now, if you want to get into um, actually intelligence of animals, spirits. I'm not the guy for that because I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm unsure on that one.
So what have you been up to lately as far as your investigations?
I actually took a big like month and a half break. Life's lifing, but
Right.
I go to a lot of the same place. I love to go to cemeteries. I'm big on I like especially older cemeteries. All these people and headstones that nobody comes and sees them no more. They don't get flowers no more. They don't get visitors. If they do get visitors, it's just the people that walk the cemeteries for peace. Just
Mhm.
getting their daily jog in or whatnot. But that's where I really enjoy it to hopefully
Yeah.
give them a little bit of a voice if they want, I guess. Then I got a couple other locations. I just picked up a new place. We call it the Cabin, and it is from what the owners are telling me, and we're diving in history right now, but that it was an abortion clinic back in the 1800s.
Hmm.
Then come to find out that there was a brothel down the road, allegedly a
Oh,
brothel
wow.
down the road about a half mile to a mile away. And I'm like, well, that kind of makes more sense.
Right. Right.
So that place is brand new. I've only been live there once, and I've already made the doctor mad.
Oh, really?
It seems that way. He was coming through pretty good, and I got called names.
Oh, really? Like, what did you get called?
Well, I
You
got
can
called
say
a
it on there.
pussy.
You can say
I
it.
got called a bastard.
Okay.
Uh, I I made the comment, so it kept like so I like to use apps. Now, me personally, I believe in apps 50-50. I don't put full trust in apps, but what's not to say that they're not getting used. That's the way I think anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of I guess creator that no matter what comes through it, I use it as banter to talk. Because, like I said, what's not to say that they're not actually saying that, but in reality, it almost sounds like it's just gibberish or just out of nowhere, means nothing. Um, and I just so happened it kept coming up like medical, doctor. Then it would say like hospital. Then it would say medical building. And I'm like, well, if this is, where is this doctor? And then it kept alluding to upstairs. And I'm like, I bet you this doctor don't have a hair on his ass if he don't come down here and talk to me. And then immediately, so I was using an actual spirit box, SB7 Pro. And right when I said that and hit it, the first word to come through said bastard. I mean, plain as day. I was like, yep. All right, come on.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
that little bit of 3 hour live I did, uh, he wasn't very keen on me being there, at least if that was the doctor, that voice, because it was that voice, the same voice that kept saying it,
Yeah.
kept calling me bad things and whatnot.
I want to ask you about the cemeteries too. Every now and then you'll see on social media people, they don't like when investigators go to cemeteries. They say it's like disrespectful or whatever. But you kind of touched on something that I believe that no one's going to visit a lot of the older cemeteries, right?
Nope.
And to me, it's like going anywhere really, whether it's to a haunted location, to a cemetery, or to a Walmart. If there's a spirit there and they want to communicate with you, they're going to communicate with you. If they don't want to, they're not going to. That's the way I see cemeteries.
Oh, I
What are
get it
your
all the
thoughts on that?
time. Get out of
Yeah,
here. Leave.
yeah,
Leave
yeah.
me alone. Go away. And,
Right,
I move on. Okay. Sorry to bother you. I'll keep
yeah,
going. My
yeah,
bad. My biggest thing, the biggest hate I get is stepping on them.
right, yeah,
My rebuttal, well, they mow. I
yeah.
mean,
They
what's the
mow their
difference in me
grass.
walking than the mower that just trimmed their hair? You know?
Right. And like I've done cemeteries too, and I always try to be as respectful as I can. I don't ever
I'm the
like
same way.
intentionally, yeah, like try
I'm
to
the same
be
way.
disrespectful.
I try all the time to be respectful. It's when I get disrespected, then I'll start a little banter back and forth to see how far I can take it sometimes. I don't do it a lot, but uh I mean sometimes there, like me personally, there's some nasty spirits out here. There really
Yeah.
are. They just I think they were, this is my personal opinion. I think they were not so happy in life and they
Mm.
carried that on with them.
Right.
And I think a lot of people want to immediately point to demonic in that fashion. I don't believe that. I just think they're assholes personally. But that it happens all the time. I get it all the time. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, I think a lot of times if someone was a jerk in life, they're probably going to be the jerk in death. And I think sometimes spirits are just frustrated, or maybe, I don't know, aggravated. They don't know what's going on really. That's in
Oh
my
yeah.
opinion. And maybe it comes out, you know, from their side, and they don't know how to show it, or like to
Hmm.
get your attention, and they have to do something nasty to get your attention. And people think it's demonic, which
Yes,
that word gets on my nerves so bad. Not to say that stuff doesn't exist, but
I
it's
believe it, but I think it's extremely rare.
mhm.
Extremely rare.
Have you ever been scared, whether it was demonic or just just a mean
I've
ass
been jump
ghost?
scared a few times.
Yeah.
I had a, I had a. This was like 24 degrees out one night. I was in the cemetery, doing my life thing, and for whatever the reason, there was doves nesting on the ground, and I damn near stepped right on one. It scared the shit out of me. I mean the phone went in the air, and you hear me on the live. Get all my voice gets high if I get jump scared, like
Mhm.
higher up. And so everyone heard and everyone was laughing at me. So I've had them. I've been to Pine Lawn Manor. I had the shit scared out of me on that one. I mean, so I was the only one. So Pine Lawn Manor is a nursing home in Illinois, and very, very haunted, in my opinion. And I'm the only one in the building. They are the spirits were communicating. I was using the apps and everything, and I whistled. I like to whistle, even though everyone tells me don't do that. You call the bad spirits in if you whistle. Well, I
Yeah.
don't believe that, but anywho, I whistled. Well, I thought I heard a whistle back. When I went back on the live, I couldn't hear when editing. But anyway, right before that, so I turned the camera and there is a noise that is so loud that I thought someone drove a vehicle through the building. Like I felt the vibration on the ground on concrete floor. I felt it. And a lot of F words come out. I mean, it got me. And my heart was, I'd love to see what my BP was for the next half hour after that because it was off the charts. I mean, I I don't get nervous like walking down a hallway. I might be like, huh, this one's a little creepy. Might slowly walk down it, but it took me a minute to like try to go look to see what that was. Definitely took me a good couple minutes to figure that out. That one got me real good. Um, Pretty much about the only other thing I had happen is, and this is going to sound kind of wild. So, do you know what the Estes method is?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I was under the Estes method, and this was at the Randolph County Asylum in Indiana. No, I was going to say Hartford City. It's not Hartford City, Winchester, Indiana. And I'm in the basement. So, I'm under Estes. I got a blindfold on. Well, the blindfold I have, I can open up my eyes, and I always have my eyes open. I've seen weird things while under. Sitting there, and all of a sudden, I see this eyeball appear. I can describe every living detail of this eyeball. I don't know if it was in my head. I don't know if it was actual truth because I don't have no film of this. So, I mean, you're going off of my word here. The eyeball had like a yellow tinge to it, almost kind of like an iron deficiency, like you know
Okay.
that yellow off color.
It's like a
Uh,
jaundice kind of look. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Very veiny in the eye, very veiny, and the pupil was massive. And I'm just like, well, I got the video of it, but you can see me like you see my face like kind of turn to the side, like, what the fuck is this? Like I'm seeing it. And all of a sudden it blinks. When it blinked is when I was like, yep, nope, I'm done. You immediately see me take my headset off and I get up. I, I was fine until the blinking. And
Hmm.
it blinked about 3 times.
Oh shit. Yeah. And you
That
never
I've
investigated like
never
direct.
witnessed that.
Yeah.
That was the one and only time I've ever witnessed that. And I don't
And,
know other than just to explain it because like I said, I don't have no proof to show everyone.
yeah.
They're
And
just going
where's
off
this
of
at
my
again?
word. Do what?
Where was this at? What location?
Randolph County Asylum. It's in
Okay.
Winchester, Indiana, or some people call it the Randolph County Infirmatory.
Okay. Hmm.
But yeah, that one. And I've had many experiences at that place. I've been there several times. I know the owners very well. I do a lot of work for them. I've helped them uh, put in like internet in that building so people can actually get around. A lot of live streamers like to go there so they
Mhm.
can actually get around and get good service because if they don't, the service is garbage there. But that's Dan and Rich own that building. But yeah, that one I still think about it all the time because I don't quite understand it, which that helps me lead me into my theories of parapsychology. You know, psychologically in your head, or is it actually happening in front of you? To try to dictate between the two.
Right. Yeah. I'd be interested to know if anybody else had that kind of an experience there. You know, just to you know just to see if anybody else had, or even that had that experience in general. That'd be interesting to find out.
So like at least as far as under the mask, I've had what almost looks like shadows go across. Like if you think of seeing a shadow,
Mhm.
just say you're in the house, you don't have a mask on, then you're just in a room, and you're in a dark room, and you see something darker than the dark go by.
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. That happened. I've had that happen in a mask. I've seen it.
Mhm.
I call it out. To me, that's definitely not as weird as like seeing an eyeball. I've
Yeah.
seen which I think this is where the parapsychology comes in sometimes. You know when you like close your eyes to go to sleep and you start seeing it almost looks like stars.
Yeah. All
Like if
the
you really
spots. Yeah.
focus, it looks like
Yeah.
stars. I've seen that in the mask with my eyes open though.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I don't know if that's something psychological where your eyes are trying to focus and it's creating this mirage of lights. I don't know.
Right.
But the only other time in the mask of something not that freaky but weird I've had happened at the Demon House. This is the Monroe House in
Right.
Hartford City, Indiana. That was the very first time I ever done Estes, and And I've had a few people say they don't believe me because it was my very first time. I didn't know what I was doing. Very possible the case. I don't know. All I know is that I was in a room by myself with the door shut. The team I was a part of at that time was in the room right next to me. So I mean, there's a literal wall and a door in between us. You know, they're yelling out questions, and I'm just spitting out what I hear. Using spirit box, just yelling out what I hear. And it looked like someone walked right up to me and turned a flashlight on right in my face. It was bright. And immediately I took my mask off. The room is completely dark and there's no one in it. Because I thought maybe they were like, they come up to me to get me out.
Right.
Because me, like, especially now, if I go under, I almost lose track of time. I have no idea how long I'm in. Sometimes I might be in 5 minutes. Other times I might be in an hour. But it all just seems like I'm in there for hours when I do it. But I don't know. Someone just walked right up to me with a bright ass flashlight right in my face, and that was without having a mask on. So
Hmm.
I can't explain that one either. But those are probably the two most prominent things I've had happen in masks.
And I think you mentioned, do you have a favorite location?
Mm. I'd say it's actually far as like pay to play, probably the Randolph County Asylum.
Okay.
But if like down to brass tacks, like legitly, my favorite location would be the house. I call it the stall house.
Okay.
That's my by far my favorite location.
And so is the stall house? That's the house that you saw the little boy at.
Yep,
Okay.
from when I was a
Is
kid, yes, sir.
is that the name of a family, or is that just something from something else? The name.
Partially,
Okay.
partially.
Okay.
Uh, I don't give out all my names for the fact of the owners because they did ask me not to
Okay.
give out certain names.
Hmm.
So there's other last names that come into play, but they're all the same family.
Okay. Are you the primary person that investigates that location?
Mhm. There's only been 3 people that went with me.
Oh,
4,
okay.
sorry. There's only been 4 other people that's
Okay.
been in that house.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I would like that. Like we were talking about, before we came on the air, the house I used to live in. I would love to
Mhm.
be able to investigate that house now. I wasn't
Mhm.
into the paranormal like I am now at that time, but I probably could if I worded it right. And for all you who don't know what I'm talking about, a house that I was in when I was married, my first marriage, it was very haunted, and I was into the whole Bigfoot thing like I am now, but I wasn't into the paranormal stuff like I am now. So I would love to go back and investigate it. And my kids have told me you need to ask. She'll probably let you. But I don't know. We were. You know, it's just one of those things. It's not.
You don't want the awkwardness.
Yeah, and it's not a bad situation. It really isn't. It's just we have our own thing going on, so I don't want to get
Understand.
involved in all that. Yeah, but I would love. I would still probably love to do it. Maybe one day I'll ask. Get
That guy that just come through, that's Stan. He's been in that house with me. He's one of the creators that's been with me.
Mhm. Has he had
I mean,
experiences in that place too?
so when he went with me, he is very scientific in technology. So he has a new page called the Mad Scientist on TikTok. I'm the one that calls him the Mad Scientist. I'm the one that come up with that because that's what this man is. And so he goes in there with me. I think no, he's been in there twice. I can't remember if it was the first time or second time. So he's real big into EMF, whether it's like a K2 meter or audible EMF or um, different types of devices. And so he's going around with a device that does audible EMF. And what I mean by that is it's kind of quiet, and we're going through there, and all of a sudden it starts making that sound, which there's some kind of EMF going on. It's disrupting audio. And he's like, "That's weird." And he kept doing it. It was like a ball, about like a 3 foot in diameter ball. And if he went out of it, it'd stop. As soon as he get up to it, it'd go back again. So he's like, hang on. He went in there, got a tri-field meter, come back, and could do the same thing with the tri-field meter, do the same ball in the exact same spot. And this ball wasn't like on the ground, on a wall. It was literally floating. Okay, hang on. He goes and gets another meter. Same thing. 3 different devices doing the exact same thing. Still to this day, I've never found that ball again in
Yeah.
that spot or any other spot in that house. So for whatever reason, it decided to be there at that point that night.
Yeah.
So people always assume I kind of, I'm iffy about it, that there's a portal there. Only reason I'm iffy in it because I get a lot of new names all the time.
Yeah.
But they think that that's where, what we were capturing was the portal at that time in the area. We just happened to be in the right area.
So you say you're iffy on portals, or you're iffy if that location has a portal?
Iffy on that location.
Okay. Okay.
Like I said, the only inclination I have that it possibly does is all the different names, and then that one night. So that was one night over 100 investigations I've done in that house that we've been able to get some kind of energy ball to happen. Like I said, there is a mirror in it. People believe mirrors are portals.
Right.
Um, so
Yeah.
I guess that could be
That's
too.
something I'm
But
kind of iffy on. I don't say no and I don't say yes. I just don't know really. About the whole mirror
I
thing.
have more faith in believing if you take 2 mirrors and face them towards each other, which creates infinity,
Mhm.
that could create a portal.
Mhm.
That's just my personal opinion. Than just one hanging on the wall. I'm not saying it can't. I believe in that way more than I do just a mirror hanging on the wall.
Okay. Yeah, that one makes the more sense, but I'm still kind of, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna go and research this or look it up or try to investigate it. I just don't know. Maybe one day it'll fall out of a tree and hit me in the head, and I'll know for sure. But other than
I'll put
that,
it to you this way: if I look at a mirror and I say, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the sexiest man of all?" If it says my name, I will believe much more.
there you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. I think that's a good. That would be a good test right there. Um, so, what do you think about orbs? Everyone's got an orb. Everyone's got an orb. In every investigation, everyone pops up with an orb. They got it in the film. They got pictures. What is your take on orbs?
Well, if you watch my lives, everyone calls that orbs, and 99% of it's dust.
Yeah, yeah,
99 per I'll even go to 99.9%
yeah,
it's dust, and I call it out all the time.
mhm,
Um, I do believe in orbs. I've seen them.
yeah,
That cabin I was telling you about, that brand new place, I watched it with my own eyes. So there's a baby doll head there that's claimed to be haunted.
mhm,
I got to further my way into that, but I watched a light IRL. This ain't on the screen of my phone. I watched it come out of that baby doll's head.
yeah,
So I went back in the live, and you can see it, but you see, I mean, it's just like a blimp. You see it come out, but everyone else said they seen it too. So what I think an orb is, I just think it's a flash of energy.
mhm,
Whether it's just a static of energy, just released.
yeah,
Um, but also not saying that can't be, that spirit created that.
yeah,
That was all the almost like that was all the energy they had to at that moment in time.
right. Or maybe it's just a byproduct of them being there too.
That too,
Yeah,
very 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 possible.
yeah. But I do believe in orbs. I do because I've seen them in that old house that I lived in, and um, but I don't believe everything's an orb. And
Oh, I definitely don't believe that, but I've seen them all, many of different colors. The ones that intrigue me the most, though, is the black ones. You ever seen a black one?
I've never seen a black one. Mm-mm.
Those intrigue me more than anything.
Hmm.
It literally
You,
just looks like a black ball that goes across.
do you think there's any significance in the colors?
A lot of people speculate there is.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
far as my research, I'm unsure at this. I haven't really dove into the
yeah,
orbs.
yeah, 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 yeah. Me too. And it's probably the same thing with the mirrors. I'm not gonna go look this up and research it and do all that. I'm just not gonna do it. I don't have time for that. I love doing the paranormal stuff and trying to get like evidence, but
Hmm.
I'll be honest, I'm not the guy that's going to go and okay, this happened. Let me go and figure this out. I'll present it to anybody and say, here, you do with it as you want to. The Bigfoot stuff, I'll look into and I'll investigate and I'll research it. paranormal stuff. As much as I love it, and I actually do love it, I just don't have the time to, you know, you know, comb over every little piece of evidence. I just
Oh,
don't.
I hear you. I got thousands of hours of footage that I don't have time to go through.
Yeah, it's funny. Even like I said, doing the Bigfoot stuff, I've got about 20 little SD cards of just hours and hours of recordings. We leave our recorders out overnight.
Hmm.
Sometimes two and 3 days, and I haven't gone over none of that stuff. It was funny with during the lockdown and COVID. A friend of mine named Shane actually called me up because we weren't working. He's like, "Hey man, I was going over some tapes from 2016." He goes, "You remember when we went camping?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, listen to this," and there was footsteps around our tent. Uh, and we hadn't heard that. Neither one of us had took the time to listen to those tapes. Or the tapes. Look how old I
Forgot
am.
all about it.
Yeah, just forgot all about it. Yeah, yeah. But it's always kind of cool when you have time to sit down and look at your old or listen to your old video or audio and video, and you know
Agreed.
that's
Sometimes
yeah.
I'll just let them play like while I'm driving, just listening.
Has this ever happened to you? You're listening to something and you hear something and you go back and you play it 100 times, you can't find the spot, but you heard something. you know
Yes,
yes.
quite
Oh man,
frequently.
that drives me insane. I'm like, I know I heard, like for me, I heard a howl, I heard a some kind of vocal, and I'll go back and I can never find the spot.
That's where I partially think the psychological part of it comes in. The
Yeah.
psychology of it comes in.
Hmm.
Do you use software to where you can like look at the waves
I used to
to
use
try to find it?
Audacity. I haven't done that in probably a few years, but I used to use Audacity.
That's that's because a lot of EVPs sometimes you don't hear. Like you'll sit there and listen to the recorder over and over again. You don't hear it. I'll put
Mhm.
it in that, and I'll see the weirdness of the wavelengths,
Right.
and then I'll go back and isolate that, cancel a lot of the noise out of it, and then you can hear it.
Hmm. Yeah.
But you've listened to it 100 times. That section, never heard it.
Right. Yeah.
The only thing that made me stop was seeing the weird wavelengths. Like,
Mhm.
okay, that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
There's no sound there. It's completely quiet. You know.
Yeah, and that's what we do with the Bigfoot world again. We if you look them on that, I don't know what kind of what is it, a spectrograph? I'm not even sure what it's called, but you'll see that big spike
Hmm.
out in the middle of nowhere, and you can go. Sometimes you'll hear like a holler or a scream, or sometimes it might be someone in the next camping site, slamming their car door or something. Yeah.
I got a serious question for you. Do you feel goofy sometimes making all the Bigfoot sounds?
Oh, I don't do that.
Oh,
I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't think anybody in my group does it. We've done it fooling around, but as far as like, hey, let's do this, they're gonna answer that. They're not dumb. They're not dumb.
I was just curious.
Oh no, people ask me that all the time. Do you go out there and make it? Hell no, I don't do that. I've done like the tree knocks.
Hmm.
I've done that. Um, and we've gotten responses back on that. But, I don't do any vocals.
I've done it a few times. Let out a good howl. Feel
Have you
like
ever
a
got anything back?
major moron. Anything back?
Yeah.
No,
Have you got any? No. Yeah.
no. I've only ever been on one Bigfoot exploration, and nothing really happened. I mean, we walked all over this, which I'm a big outdoorsman, so it didn't bother me. But we was all in this woods. I mean, massive. We was up in it's called the Hoosier National Forest here in Indiana. I mean, millions of acres of land, and actually is Finding Bigfoot's been here, and they had their big town meeting and did their show in that generalized area. Um, but anyway, the guy that wanted us to come actually says, I'm trying to word this correctly. I don't think he's crazy. So let me give you backstory on the guy. So he is in a wheelchair, but he was a retired cop, and he actually was head of the police force for that town for a long time. And he states that he knows a Bigfoot family that lives there. He has them named. Um, I I'm just I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
He has them by name, and he states that they know when they're being filmed. He can't even try to trick them to be filmed because he's tried. He said he has witnessed a uh, a mother grab a bullfrog, bite the head off, and hand the legs down to a child.
Mhm.
And he said he was filming. He's seen it on his phone. Gets home, there's no video there.
Mhm.
Um, then he's actually like had them right there in front of him. He went to put up his phone, and he said all of a sudden they disappeared as soon as he got his phone up. The guy might be a little crazy. I don't know, but
We all are.
I
You know.
do know. Oh yeah, if you're in this field, you're some sort of crazy. I 100% agree with that. But I do know he was very cautious by taking us up there.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just we went up there and did our thing. He was very cautious, very armed, because he said there's one that's a younger male. He's an adult, but a younger male that is very territorial, and he calls him Spike because the back of his head spikes up, the hair.
Mm.
And he said, "You do not turn if you see a Bigfoot with the back of his head spiked." He said it almost reminds you of like if you watched old westerns, Native Americans with the feathers in the back. He said it almost reminds you of that, but it's hair, it's not feathers, and the rest of his hair is like real matted in the front.
Yeah.
And he said, "Do not turn your back on him. I promise you, you will not want that." He said, "I have unloaded on this thing because of me turning my back on him." He says, "Anytime I see him, I wait for him to leave before I take my." He's got one of them big fancy tracked wheelchairs, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Uh, that's what he takes up there. So he waits for him to leave before he goes back home.
Okay.
But it's like this whole area that he sees his family in is right in his backyard, and it's 6 different Bigfoot. And then he'll get the occasional new one come in, and his thought process is for breeding purposes. The only time he ever sees different ones is breeding purposes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know the guy. I don't know. I hear stories, unfortunately, like that. And I don't know. I just don't know. I think Bigfoot's a flesh and blood creature. I don't think they're disappearing and poofing. And the reason why I say that is because you have the group that says that. You have the group that says they turn into orbs. You have a group that says they turn into trees and the boulders. You have a group that says they're actually extraterrestrial. You have a group that says they're opening portals, and jumping through portals. Um, all kinds of crazy stories about Bigfoot. There's probably a lot more that I just can't remember off the top of my head. So either they're doing all of this or they're doing none of this. The way I look at it. Um,
So in your research, as good as megapixels are on phones, cameras, even cellular cameras that instantly take a picture and send it to your phone,
mhm.
there's never still clear good footage.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always
There's been some pretty
pixelated.
good. I've always seen some. I've actually seen some pretty good pictures. Some pretty good up close pictures. Um, I know there's a lot of blurry pictures out there too, but I've seen some pretty good pictures. There's a guy here in Texas. He's got some property, and he's had at least two of them on his property for years and years. He's got some pretty good pictures of these guys. I don't know why he
Mhm.
won't release them, but a lot of people don't release them just because, um, you know, uh,
Social status.
yeah, social status. I mean, he's a former NFL player.
Hmm,
So he
that's
doesn't want.
badass.
Yeah. Oh, he's a big freaking guy, dude. And he's told me, he goes, dude, he goes, I'm not gonna lie, he goes, I don't come out to my property at night because he's scared. You know, yeah. Uh, you know what? I usually don't do this, but I'm gonna do this real quick. Hold on. Sorry, everybody. Hold on.
I've enticed him to get the photos out. Yeah, as far as like my Bigfoot experience, I don't have much
No,
at all.
big
I've
rat.
heard so like I said, I'm a big outdoorsman, but I've heard a few.
I had the camera shaking, but I want to show you guys something since a lot of your guys are here watching. Figure
I've
out.
heard a few noises that I can't explain as far as animals that I can't pinpoint, I guess.
Yeah. So what I'm going to show you, a friend of mine named Shane, same guy that had that recording that he listened to. He got this in Oklahoma. This was sorry about that, guys. And again, I apologize for this. This was in
Don't bother me.
Oklahoma. it was in 2020. He had 5 footprints, and this is step number 3. And it's
Wicked.
yeah, and it's 16 inches.
4 toes.
Yeah, 4 toes. Yeah,
So missing a toe, missing the first toe, I'm assuming.
yeah. I mean, you can see the creases in the middle. That's a pretty impressive foot.
Yeah, I'd say
And like I said,
so.
he got 5 of them, and this is step number 3. Yeah, yeah. I just want to show you guys.
Like the missing toe is fascinating, I will say.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if he had 5 toes. And like sometimes you'll see people with that little toe where it kind of comes over, right?
Hmm.
Maybe that's a possibility. Maybe it was an injury, or maybe he just had 4 toes, you know? So,
What was getting me is how spread apart it was, though. But
yeah,
it looked like in between where they're spread apart, there's a knuckle there that's nothing attached to it. That right. So you see how like from the big toe down,
right, right here.
yeah, in that section right there, it almost looks like something happened. Very weird.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm no expert in looking at big feet,
yeah,
but hey,
yeah, yeah. I just want to show you guys that since we were talking about Bigfoot. I know we were doing paranormal, but I love talking about all this stuff. I can talk about UFO stuff too.
my personal feeling on Bigfoot, uh, I think they do exist. I'm probably more in the realm of interdimensional.
Mhm.
Uh, just from a few stories that I've heard of, uh, there was this one story a friend of mine told me about. He was contacted by a guy that was driving down the road and watched a Bigfoot step into this. He said it looked like a big mirror, but the mirror was like wavy. He watched it happen out in the middle of the field. He's watching the big, as he's driving down the road, he watches this big hairy creature walks into this portal. I'm assuming. Well, what was funny is a couple years later, in the exact same spot, a different person said the same story to the same person that told me the story.
Right,
I find that kind of ironic. Them two people hadn't know they don't know each other that he knows of,
right.
but had the exact same story. So I mean, if there's multiple traffic on there, that's almost telling that multiple people seen it at least. But
Hmm. And I actually do believe that there's probably uh, a lot more stuff out there than what we realize or what we know of. Not to say that the people who are seeing this and witness this didn't see it happen. I think that maybe
mhm,
there's just something else going on, and that's not necessarily a Bigfoot, or a Sasquatch.
right, I don't completely disapprove of the flesh and blood. I mean,
Yeah, uh,
the gorillas, the silverbacks, were just founded in what 80s.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, and I mean the koala for the longest time, people thought people were making stuff up. You know, but, then they found out that koalas were real. You know, but yeah, I just think there's probably a lot more stuff that goes on than what we realize, and or what we know about. And,
so what's your thoughts of do you know, which I don't know if you're religious or anything, but have you ever heard the book of Enoch?
yeah,
It's one of the
yeah,
lost books of the Bible,
hmm,
and that
yeah,
the
oh yeah,
Anunnaki had protectors
yeah. Is that
that
in
are
the Catholic?
very described like Bigfoot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's also one Anak, I want to say, and they talk about where Moses had sent people up ahead while they were wandering in the desert, and they came back and told them that they saw giants and they were
Mhm.
fearful. Yeah. So yeah, it makes you wonder what they saw.
It does.
Yeah.
It's I just always found that interesting that, a lost book of the Bible and it claiming, it's that old, talking about creatures that exactly resemble a Bigfoot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think even who the Vikings when the Vikings landed here, uh, Eric Leifson said that the men here were big, hairy, and stinky. Yeah. So
The part that gets me the most is Native Americans. All the
yeah.
Native American tribes throughout all of North America, I mean, even all over the world, talk about it.
Hmm.
Talk about sightings of maybe not the same name, but of similar creature,
Hmm.
bipedal, very hairy, and huge.
Right. Yeah.
That's what gets me the most. Because I mean, they've made cave drawings of them. They've made put them on totem poles.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if it's not
And
something they
whistling
believe in or hadn't seen, they're not going to put it
yeah,
on a totem pole.
and whistling, and that's
Yeah,
something that the natives say, don't whistle at night,
I
Um,
do it all the time.
yeah. Yeah. My friend Don has a podcast. He's actually Navajo. It's called Don't Whistle at Night. Um, but yeah, and people think that these things are big, loving, Harry and the Henderson type Bigfoot. But there's plenty of names from Native Americans that call them devils, evil gods, cannibals.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of names that aren't exactly friendly and fun loving. And yeah, and what I tell people too, if you ever see one, just treat it like a bear, like you would a bear. Don't try to give it
I just
fluff.
hope I get it on film. That's all I care. I
Yeah,
don't care if it's 5 feet away or half a mile away. I just want to try to get some footage of it or something.
yeah. But yeah. Like I said, there's some pretty good photos on it, but people, they're afraid of the ridicule and stuff like that.
That stems even away from Bigfoot because it took me a long time to talk about my experiences.
Yeah,
It took
yeah,
me a long time to tell my friends that I like to investigate them, like
yeah.
my personal friends.
Yeah.
Now they just call me weirdo.
Yeah, dude, no one
Fun,
knew
but
what I was doing until about 6, 7 years ago. You know,
right.
but I'm so glad I do it now and talk about it now because everyone has an experience. They send me a message, they call me,
Hmm.
they send me a news story that they saw on, or whatever. And I get that. Something happens. I get 20 messages about it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I like for my job, I go into a lot of houses. I install. I'm a fiber technician, so internet. I go into a lot of houses, and there's been several houses that I had a feeling walking in, and it took me a few minutes, but finally I'll just ask, "Have you ever had any experiences in here?" And then they look at you sideways, like ghost, and then they'll slowly start to come out with, "Well, we've had a few weird things happen." That's usually how it starts off. And then once you get talking to them, they'll finally get it out. But there's one house I went into. It was for a job. As soon as I crossed the threshold, I've never had this happen at any location I've ever been. As soon as I walked in the threshold, I was instantly sick to my stomach. Like just wanted to bend over and hurl immediately. There was no nasty smell in the house. The house was not dirty. It was very well kept, but full of antiques. Full of antiques. So I don't know if it was an attachment there, but I walk in, I'm like, oh God, that's weird. I mean, it almost put me to my knees. The
Right.
feeling was so bad. I go back out to my truck, or I talked to the lady, not about that, but where she wanted the router, all that. I go back out to my truck, started feeling better,
Yeah.
like instantly gone. As soon as I went outside, I walk in the second time, bam, just punch me in the face, feeling that bad. That is the only place I've ever had that happen. I did not talk to that lady about it. I could definitely tell she was very uppity Christian, best way I can put it nicely. Um, and that conversation probably wouldn't have went well. But I've never had that feeling anywhere before. So I really want to contact. I'm not going to, but I really want to go back to that place.
I wonder if there's a way you can look up the history of that address. And
Oh, I can. I know the address.
okay, well,
I
shoot.
just I just haven't looked into it. Now
Yeah.
I've had a few places that after I got to talking to the people, like I'll go outside to do part of my job and I've left my phone on record inside and I've gotten EVPs.
Oh shit, that's pretty
There's
good.
one house that I showed up at, and this house was old. I mean, old. Like you look at it and you're just like, oh, come on, that's got to be haunted. It's haunted. Has to be. I just looked it and started talking to the guy, and he was telling me all these experiences when they were remodeling the house. He said that one night they were downstairs sleeping, but the upstairs, it's 2 stories. The upstairs was all gutted. I mean, all you're looking through is floor joists and rafters. I mean, door frame. You know what I mean? Just gutted.
Yeah.
And he said there was one night they were laying there sleeping, and all of a sudden he said there's no draft, no wind, nothing. There was one door still hung up there, and he said I bet you it slammed 30 times, bam, 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 just wide open. He said we immediately got up and left that night. We went and got a hotel and come back next day. Never had that happen again. He goes, I don't know what happened, but that's the one and only time we ever left in the middle of the night. I was like, really?
Wow.
Do you mind if I leave my phone on record in here? Because the actual part of the job I need to do on the house was the far end. Laid my phone down. He didn't care. Laid my phone down. And it sounded like there was a whole crowd of people in there, and we were the only two there. You
Oh,
could hear cabinets slamming. You could hear voices talking. It was crazy. I end up going back like a week later and let him listen to it. And his eyes are all like real big and kind of like,
That's pretty cool.
I was like, here's my number. Call me if you have issues because I want to come back.
Yeah. So have you ever had anybody call you back?
No.
No.
I've had people reach out to me, like knowing what I do, reach out for help, but I've never had like an instance like that or something. The few times I've talked about it, like here's my number, or here's my card anyway. Give me a call if you have any issues. You know, you want to see what's going on.
Well, cool, man. Dude, it's great talking to you, man. We could probably talk for another hour or so, but we're coming to the end of the show, man.
I yap a
You,
lot, so
yeah, man, dude. I could talk about this all night. I could talk about all this stuff all night, you know. And I could probably get a little bit more weirder than what you'd probably think I don't get weird about, but I can get a little bit weird. Uh, but yeah, man, if you want to, man, why don't you plug your TikTok, your YouTube, whatever you got going on, whatever you want to talk about, let people know where they can find you or contact you, whatever you want to talk about.
perfect. Well, if anyone wants to get a hold of me, I do Stark Paranormal across all socials. That's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Um, Stark Paranormal on everything. All them places, I do have a bio, like a link tree that shows my email if you want to reach out. Uh, any of that. So I go live all the time, and that's on TikTok and YouTube. I'll actually be live here in about an hour. So I do it all the time. I really enjoy it. Um, I always say my biggest reason I do it is to give maybe someone a glimpse of hope that when they pass away, that there might be something more than 6 feet under dirt.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah. And do you ever have anything you want me to share for you, promote for you? Just let me know, man. I'll be happy to share it. Tag me in it, whatever. I'll share it for you. I got a problem doing
Perfect, man. I appreciate that.
that. Yeah. And everyone else, I've been out of this for a while. I don't know, maybe 6 months, 7 months. Starting to get back into it. Like I was telling Cody, he's only the second interview I've done this year. So but I'm doing another one Friday. So there we go. Right. So
Heck yeah. I
yeah,
just
I'll
feel
be
like
good.
it's another day at the office.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So you guys tune in. I think he's a Bigfoot guy, actually, on Saturday. I mean, on
Nice.
Friday the 13th. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for sharing. I know somebody said they shared it to. I can't remember what they said they shared it to. That's on Discord. I want to say. But yeah, thanks for sharing the show. And you guys tune in. You guys have any questions? You guys want to contact me for anything? You got a guest you want me to have on? Beyond.woodline@gmail.com, or you can find me anywhere. Joe DeHoyos. That's my name. I'm all over Facebook and TikTok. So yeah, go check out my stuff, man. I make rosaries too because I am a Catholic. You asked about that. I make rosaries. So, check that out. Um, but yeah, hold on, don't go anywhere. Everyone else, if you can, tune in Friday, and we will see you Friday night.